Oh, also, I guess we could open this real quick. This was cool. This was kind of a cool thing. You guys know what PlayStation sent me? This is the brand new DualSense Edge wireless controller. This is their competitor to the Elite Series 2 from Xbox. And I love the Elite Series 2. It's built super solid. Like, you can try and it doesn't creak or squeak. It's just built like a tank. You can swap out all the little joystick heads, adjust the resistance on them if you want, swap out the D-pad. There's paddles on the back if you like the paddles. I freaking love the paddles. I can't play games without it. I just much prefer this. And it's just built really solidly. Different profiles with an on-screen or an on-controller indicator as to which one you have equipped. Really, really solid controller. So they are trying to compete directly with that. This comes in at 200 big ones. And that's a lot of money. I mean, for $200, I think, isn't the Elite Series 2 like 170 right now? Oh, dude, it's even, okay, this is the core. This is the other one. Yeah, it's like 180. It's 180. Oh, thank you.
Thought you should know you're now officially my #1 comfort YouTuber.
Aww.
Thank you for everything you do and keep up the hard work.
Thank you, my friend. That's very sweet. Thank you, Sophie. I saw you replied to my DM on Discord. I have to answer that, so I'm sorry. I went through all of my DMs on Discord on Friday on our drive, and now I have to catch up on all of the replies from people, but I'm trying. It's just, there's a lot. So this is the Elite Series 2 is 180. So it's less than this one. So I'm expecting this at the very least to be competitive, right? Like, at the very least, this thing should come along, have the same build quality. It should have the same feel of just being premium. And ideally it would be even better. Ideally, I would touch this thing and be like, oh God, and just immediately reach climax, right? That's what you would hope. That's probably not going to happen. Hopefully, for everybody's sake, it doesn't happen. But let's see. Okay. If we open it. Okay, they got it in like a static bag. A manual. Who cares? Okay, so right off the bat, it's like a really nice hard shell case, similar to the one for the series, Elite Series 2. It looks like it's got. Okay, maybe I can't open it this way. Oh no, I can. Yeah, it's like a little hatch where you'll be able to presumably charge the controller while it sits in here. So that's nice. That's something that the Elite 2 has as well. I have to unplug it actually. It has the same little jack on the back. The difference is with this one, we'll see if this has the same thing, but this has like a little stand for it, so you can also set this on your desk and charge it, and it like magnetically holds the controller while it charges, which is kind of cool. Little charging dock looking thing. So we'll see if this has something similar. I'm going to be doing a lot of comparisons, not because I'm trying to be like a negative Nancy, but because this thing's $200 and this thing's 180. You know, and this is the direct competitor. Granted, this is for the PlayStation 5. This one's for Xbox and PC. You could also technically, I guess, use this for PC, but I think most people probably won't. So we have a big hefty USB-C cable. It actually feels quite heavy. Feels premium. Not bad. Not bad. If we open it up and actually look at the controller itself, I'll be real. I really hate this glossy finish. That thing is going to be one hell of a fingerprint and smudge magnet. That looks straight out of like 2006. And especially like the whole gimmick of this is it's the DualSense Edge. So the edge of the controller on the bottom has these little paddle things that you press with your thumbs, and you can route those to different buttons. And so your fingers are always going to be rubbing up and down on this glossy finish. And I don't know why they would do that. Like, I don't know what they were thinking with that. It's already smudging. It's already smudging just from me touching it. Cue the lol Luke has dirty hands joke in the chat. So you can pop off the joystick caps. I didn't even really look. There are a lot of swappable heads. It looks like they're all kind of smooth finish. Right there, those 4. Then we have the paddles and stuff. So, I mean, okay. I guess one piece at a time. First impressions immediately. I mean, for the Elite Series 2, the caps are magnetic. So you can just pop them off if you want. And then they magnetically click back down with a satisfying thonk to it. With these, it is not that way. These are like physical clamps. They have like little grips on them. I know you can't actually see this. Hold on. Can I go like super close? So it has a physical clamp that you have to really push down on to get it to lock in place. I don't know about that. That feels way cheaper. That just feels crappy. I don't like that. I'm just gonna be real. Let's see about these paddles though. Okay, so we have there's only one paddle on the back, or one spot for paddles. How do we get it to go in? Okay, there we go. Thank you for becoming a member again. 2 months in a row. There we go. I don't see the PlayStation controller competing with Elite 2. Back pads for no charging pad for permanent wireless and audio. PS5 for max use. Yeah, I will be real. This thing, the more I'm touching it, the more I'm feeling it. This feels like a far more premium controller than this. This thing, compared to the original DualSense, it feels about exactly the same in weight. I'm sure we could check that and see what it actually is in terms of weight, but it doesn't feel built better. Whereas like the Elite 2 versus the OG series controller, right off the bat, the Elite feels more premium. Like I said, you can really crank it and it doesn't creak. Whereas the original, you can start to get it to creak a little bit. And then this, it's solid, just like, okay, maybe more solid than the original DualSense. But I mean, that might just be that this thing's been used a lot, right? I really don't get why it's more convenient to put these like thumb accessible edge buttons, which means you have to take your thumbs off the joysticks and press the button when you still have an extra finger on the back of the controller, or 2 if you play like that, that's not being used. Like, why didn't they put 2 paddles on the back? That doesn't make any damn sense to me. Right? Like, isn't that weird? I don't know. The top of it's textured. They went with a glossy finish for the front of this bezel. I don't know about that. And then they did texture the triggers a little bit. So I guess I can show you that. So you see there is a texture to the trigger. And then the glossy finish on the top ridge. And then the textured touchpad. But that glossy base plate looks like ass. I will be real. I am not that impressed by this. They do have different, I guess, a different style of paddle. If you want like a little tiny disc looking thing. And I guess for this is more of a pull action to click the button as opposed to the press. So this is more like for the middle finger versus the ring finger, I guess. I don't know, man. I really am not. Again, I thank you, PlayStation, for sending this to me. I appreciate it. But this is weird. This is just a freaking weird device. I don't really understand this. So we have the USB-C cable as well, but what is... It's like a plastic piece that says unlock lock. Then there's a picture of the cable inside. So is this like a cable holder? I guess. Oh, is it to like... Oh, no way. Okay, that's got to be one of the stupidest looking things I've ever seen. It's a plastic housing for the cable. For this particular cable that allows you to lock it into the controller so it doesn't accidentally pull out. But it's just a massive plastic piece that goes over top of the cable. Couldn't they have just like made a USB-C cable that didn't look so stupid? I don't understand that. What? Yeah, so it turns this $200 controller into a wired controller. I don't know, man. This is weird. This is freaking weird. Also, it doesn't come through on the camera, but the gloss finish comes off as actually like slightly more bluish gray than all the other black finishes on the controller. So the touchpad looks black, but the glossy finish, and I know you can't see this in the camera, I'm looking at it now, it doesn't really come through, but the glossy finish actually comes off as like almost like a inky blue black. Like it's very subtle, but it's not the same color. The real benefit I see to this is the replaceable joysticks. I destroy my controllers so fast on my 5th because all the others had insane drift. That's the thing though, is I don't think you can actually replace the stick. You can replace the cap. And the replacement, it's like a cheap plastic snap-on thing. Can you adjust the resistance? But like with the Elite 2, you just pop off the keycap and then there's a little key in the carrying case, this thing, and then you just place it in and you twist it to the right to make it more resistant. You twist it to the left to loosen it if you want like a really loose joystick. I like it a little more firm, so I just do this, click click, and then it has high resistance. Whereas this thing, it's like a cheap piece of plastic that you have to snap on like a knockoff Lego set. I mean, I'll play with this. Like when we play Forspoken for the video tomorrow, I'll use this. But I'll be real, PlayStation. This is freaking weird. I don't understand it. Luke, you can remove the entire module. That's one of the most important features they're claiming is that. Okay, let's see it. Thesaurus. Let's see. How do we remove the module? Is that why it's like a glossy finish? Okay, there's a release paddle. Let's do this. How do I do? Okay, so there's like a little switch on the back that says release. What does it release? Oh, it's coming off. Something's coming off. Something's happening. I have like big sausage fingers. I can't easily do this. Okay. Okay, yeah, so that does just pop off. So now, oh, this is weird. It's kind of cool looking. So now, would it help if I turned on these lights? A little bit. So now, that's what we're looking at. And I'm guessing if we lift these up, we can slide that out, is what you're saying? And just remove the entire joystick. Okay. And the entire edge piece. So this is what you're saying when we're referring to you being able to swap out the stick modules. So I'm assuming they're going to sell these separately, right? Is that what you were saying? $20 for a new one? He broke it, yeah. Can you imagine? It's not supposed to do this. So $20 to replace that. I mean, I guess it's one way to combat stick drift is just allow people to replace it themselves without the full $70. At $20, they're still making bank on these. But, I mean, that's better than a new $70 controller. High dome caps, stick caps, attached controller, half done. How do we increase or decrease resistance? Release latch, raise lever, pull it out, push it in, lower the lever, place it back, long, medium, short stroke. I don't see anything on adjusting the resistance. Is that a feature? Is that something you can do? You cannot adjust the resistance? Nope, can't. Okay. Someone explained stick drift to me like I'm 8. Well, Brandon, basically it's been a prominent issue on the DualSense controllers, and it's the same kind of thing that would happen with some Joy-Cons, except the Joy-Cons issues were usually connection related, like connectivity through Bluetooth. But with this stuff, it's more physical. Basically, the left stick or the right stick, they stop being able to accurately detect when they're at rest or when they're not being touched. So it'll be like you're playing the game and then you let your thumbs off the sticks, but the camera slowly keeps panning to the left because the joystick thinks it's being moved slightly to the left, and that's where it's been rested, when in reality it's resting in the dead center, right? That's at least the theory behind it. So with this, I mean, it's cool to be able to swap these out. I mean, that is kind of cool, being able to just remove the joysticks. I'll be real, I've never broken joysticks like that. And in some ways this kind of comes off as like a weird way of addressing quality assurance issues with the DualSense controllers. Because like the stick drift, I don't feel like it's because I've been hard on the controllers or used them a lot. To me, it feels like a failure of quality checking. That's just my perception. But who knows? Maybe this is, for a lot of people, a big deal and is really, really nice to see. I still think this glossy piece is freaking ugly. I think even this matte plastic they have underneath it looks way better than the gloss. I just don't like the gloss. And it's, again, it's a different color than the black, which doesn't come through on the video, but it's, I promise you, it's a different color. And clips back in place. Okay. Well. So I think you guys are right. I don't think this is a competitor to the DualSense Edge. The other thing I didn't touch on is you can adjust the resistance to the adaptive triggers. That to me seems like a really weird thing to do, because the adaptive triggers, the whole thing is that they can control the resistance. So it seems weird to me to lock it to like a quarter range, but maybe for some people that's a big deal. I don't know. Yeah, Rocky, I can totally add those mod privileges. Yeah. I'm surprised we didn't already do that. Oops. I had my DualSense controller since PS5 launch, no stick drift, but the battery isn't great. Well, that's kind of why, like, I get that some people use this, and wire their controllers in because they're just sitting at their desk, you know, who cares? Like, we'll just do that. And sometimes they pull the cable out. So maybe this, for some people, this plastic housing to lock the controller to the cable is actually really convenient. To me, it just looks freaking dumb. And it also kind of betrays covertly. It's like the stick drift thing. It's like their fix to the battery life being terrible is to give you a plastic housing to keep the cable plugged in. The one exception being if you plan on using this for PC gaming, I could understand it for that. But if you're using this on a PS5, like, this just makes it look like you're aware that the battery life sucks, and so you're like, oh well, we'll just give you the ability to lock in a cable and turn it into a wired controller. Like, it just looks weird. Same like the quickly swapping out the joysticks. That's cool. But like, I'll be real, I haven't had that problem enough for it to justify the cost of a $200 controller that's otherwise pretty lackluster. We'll see what the, like, I think the paddles are going to be nice. I really don't like that there's only one paddle on each side on the back. I wish there were two, because I don't think I'll like these thumb edge things. I think that that's kind of stupid. You have to remove your thumbs from the joysticks to press them, which kind of removes the purpose of the paddles. Like, the paddles, the great thing about those is that they make it so you never have to remove your thumbs to touch these buttons. Like, I don't get it, but anyway. Or if you're used to throwing it, yeah, maybe. Okay, and let's be honest, it's not even a very pretty control. I just don't get the gloss. I think the gloss was a huge misstep. I think what they were trying to do is they were trying to make it look like the PS5. So you have the white on the sides, and then in the center you have this glossy black, which is what the PS5 has, with the white on the side panels and then the gloss finish through the middle. But I think it just looks cheap. And it's already getting scuzzed up from me touching it, so I don't know. And the manual says that this is, in fact, a charging port, so you can just plug the cable straight into the controller from there. It's a really large opening for a single cable to go through, but whatever. I mean, again, the charging dock for the Elite 2 is probably preferable. But, I mean, at the end of the day, I guess you could say this isn't really competing with the Elite 2, because this is going to be used overwhelmingly on the PlayStation 5. I think most PC players are still going to get the Elite because it's an Xbox controller, Xbox, PC ecosystem, blah, blah, blah. But I think it's the natural comparison to draw because it's the other premium market controller from a first party. So I think it's an easy comparison to make. So thank you, PlayStation. I'm a little bedeviled, but because it really just feels it feels pretty cheap. It feels pretty cheap for $200. $200 for that. On sale, like over the holidays, you could have bought 4 DualSenses for that. 4. Are you really breaking thumbsticks so often that you're going to end up ahead by buying that? Like, I don't know. Maybe what it'll be, maybe I'll play like Forspoken with that thing, and the vibrator motors are just like so amazing that they just cause you to like repeatedly orgasm while you play. Maybe that's how they justify the cost. But right now, I don't get it. I think that is ridiculously overpriced. I am breaking my controllers that fast. Okay, we need to have a conversation. Hound. That's that's insane. I'm on number 3. But is that you, or is that just that the quality assurance is poor? Because I got a DualSense controller. I had to return it the next day because it was like it already had stick drift day 1 of owning it. So to me, it seems more like it's Sony's quality assurance. How much do you think it's actually worth then? I think like charging maybe $120, $115, something like that would be much more fair. Because like I'm being real with you, it doesn't really feel much more premium than this DualSense, which over the holidays and depending on where you're shopping, these things are on sale for like $50 regularly. So you could buy 4 of these, play with all of your friends, have plenty of controllers to go around, all different colors. You get a red one too, all different colors. Depending on your mood versus getting that one thing. But I don't know. I guess it's not really designed for me because I thoroughly don't understand it. I don't know. I love the red one. Yeah, the red one's really sexy. Is that the like full price cost is $70 for these PS5 controllers. But like they're on sale for $50 all the time. Like if you're shopping for one and you see it for $70, just wait a little bit. It'll be fine. So again, thank you, PlayStation. Just not for me. I would not recommend people spend $200 on that. And just like that, Luke was cut from the press list. No longer welcome to receive items from PlayStation. I don't know, man. I don't get it. I'm not going to lie to you. If I think it looks like ass, I'm going to tell you it looks like ass. He took my thing. Red flag.